Hey guys, today we're going to go over how much money I have made from 100 million views on YouTube. Let's dive right into my analytics. Josh, switch it up for me here. Now, this is the back end for the George Gammon channel. I started this channel in the end of 2019. And we're going to switch to the all-time view. You can see it defaults to the last 28 days. So for the last 28 days, this channel is what are we at? 752,000 views. And for those 752,000 views, I've been paid $4,159.96. So now let's go back in time, and we're going to go to the lifetime of the channel. And like I said, I just started posting although I set up the channel like 2015 or 14, something like that. I didn't start posting until in here. So call it July, August or so of 2019. And like we said in the last video, based on the strategies that I used, I was able to go from 0, 1, 2 views per day for the whole channel, by the way, to almost 70,000 in just a few months. And I had no social media presence. Nobody knew who I was. And I was able to do this not by luck, but by using the strategies we talk about in this channel. So I've actually had over 50 million views here. And we're going to go to my other channel that has about 50 million. That's where we're getting to actually 100 million plus, about 110 million. So for these 60 million views that I've got since I basically started posting here at the Q3 of 2019, we've got $362,450.81. Now, what's interesting about this number is it would actually be a bit higher, but I don't do mid-roll ads. Josh, you want to explain the difference between what they call it pre-roll, mid-roll, and is it end roll?
Yeah. So YouTube, if you're on YouTube right now, you are going to have the option, if you're a creator, to show ads to people before the video starts, as well as while the video is playing. I'm sure every single person here has watched a YouTube video, and a few minutes into it, you are interrupted by an advertisement. That is when a creator turns on mid-roll ads. And then you also have end screen ads. So George, on that George Gammon channel, does not show any mid-roll ads, which means his CPM, which is the amount that advertisers are willing to pay per million views, is
for 100 per 1,000.
For 1,000 views. Sorry, it's substantially lower than it otherwise would be if he did have the mid-roll ads. But you saw that he still made $365,000. What we're also going to talk about is the better way you can make money from YouTube. But imagine if you had an extra 60 million people that learned about your business, that wanted to buy whatever product or service that you had in a few year period. If you could tell 60 million people about your product and that wanted to listen to you every single week, what would that do to your business?
I mean, if you could tell 6 million people, forget 60 million, how about 6 million? Even that would be a total game changer. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, I'm not going to be as good at YouTube as George. Or listen, like we said in the last video, everybody sucks at the beginning. I was horrific. If you don't believe me, you can go to my channel, just look at the oldest videos and you'll see what I'm referring to. But when I show you after I show you the next channel, which is how we get up to the 110 million views and what I was paid on that, on the Rebel Capitalist channel, I want to go over to just some ordinary businesses that are posting content to YouTube. And we'll go right back to what Josh is saying and ask ourselves, okay, how much are they likely making from ads? But more importantly, how much are they probably making due to the additional exposure, the additional leads for their company that actually turn into sales?
I would say the most interesting part about YouTube is you will literally get paid to promote your business. I mean, think about what you do as a business. Your cost to acquire customers goes up forever. It actually will never get cheaper than it is today to acquire customers if you're running ads on the internet. Whereas on YouTube, George got paid $362,000. We're going to see the other channel in a second. I bet it will be over $500,000 to just promote a business if he was trying to monetize it in that way.
Okay, so now let's go over to the Rebel Capitalist channel. So for this month, we'll start here. We've got about 800,000 views, and we've got about $4,300. Now, what's interesting here is we actually do mid-roll ads on the Rebel Capitalist channel because they're live streams. I don't do them on the whiteboards. That's just a conscious decision I made because I don't want to distract people, because a lot of times I'm talking about pretty complex topics. But for the live streams, it's kind of me riffing on what's going on in financial media. So we do turn on the mid-roll, but you'll notice I'm getting pretty much the exact same revenue per view. Why is that? Because the overall CPM is lower because advertisers are willing to pay less for an ad on a live stream than they are on an edited video like a whiteboard. So there's a lot of variables that go into this. That's the bottom line. Okay, so now let's get over to the all-time. Now with this channel, if you guys haven't followed kind of my journey here on YouTube, started in 2021. We'll go to that right now. So we start off, January 2021. And we started this from scratch. And it was getting it would have gotten fewer viewers, kind of like the George Gammon channel, but I had already established a presence. I didn't really pitch it that much on the whiteboard videos at all. This is pretty much organic growth. But what's really interesting about YouTube is the algorithm follows the individual. It doesn't necessarily follow the channel. That's why if I go on someone else's podcast that only has, let's just say, 1,000 subscribers or something like that, especially if it's on a macro topic, they're probably going to get a lot more views on that video than they would normally, because the YouTube algorithm knows that, hey, this is George Gammon. And I've established a lot of, I don't know, Josh, what would you call it? Algorithm equity?
I would just say brand recognition, because at the end of the day, what the algorithm is just people choosing to watch a video. And so if people recognize George and then choose to watch it, that boosts the algorithm. So I would just say people know who you are and they want to hear from you.
Yeah. So the good news there, guys, is once you put in the work and kind of start to build that brand for your business or your personal brand or whatever you're trying to do, if you start another channel on a slightly different topic, it's going to be much, much easier for you to grow that. So getting back to the Rebel Capital's channel, actually, last time I looked, we were about 50.
Yeah.
So we're almost up to
60 million. And then if you account your new interview channel, you're definitely at 120 million views total.
We'll go check that out just for fun. We'll go look at that here.
So I did the quick math as well. You are up to $704,000 in the past 5 years of creating videos.
Just on these two channels?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this one has 57 million and we've got $343,000 of ad revenue. And that's, just to be clear, guys, that's what I was paid. This is not what my revenue split was with YouTube. In other words, I'm getting 100% of this. I'm not getting a 55% split, which I think what it is with YouTube. You get 55, they get 45. This represents the amount of money that was basically wired to my bank account from YouTube. And we can see consistency here with the monthly numbers, and that we got almost the 60,000, very similar revenue, although we do mid-roll because those advertisers up front aren't willing to pay as much for live streams on these types of topics as they are for the edited videos.
So okay, George, before you go to your next channel, do you want to explain the different ways that people can monetize a channel?
Well, obviously through ad revenue is number one. You mean just through YouTube or taking?
Yeah, from growing an audience. So you've recently taken on a sponsor. You also have a different products, or for what other people can do from their business perspective.
Yeah. So just with YouTube, it's not just ad revenue. You can do super chats? You can do that through live streaming.
You don't get much of those, but I think that would be accounted here in the revenue.
No, I used to get a lot of those.
Oh, really?
I used to, yeah. So this might have been before we started working together, but back in 2020, I was doing a live stream every Sunday night. And this is before I set up Rebel Capitalist Pro. And it got to the point where there was no way I could answer all the questions. There's just no way. So I said, okay, I'll answer a question if you do a super chat. It doesn't have to be, for a buck or whatever. And I would actually make about $250 to $300 every single night just from people doing super chats that wanted me to answer specific questions for them.
We actually know a channel of some young guys out of Miami that were making hundreds of thousands of dollars just from the super chats and from their memberships that
per month.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fresh and fit guys. And so that's another way to monetize. They just set up kind of like a Patreon thing within YouTube where you can do like kind of monthly subscription memberships for premium content. And obviously merch is another one if that's applicable to you. Now, off platform, another thing that I did prior to Rebel Capitalist is I did consultations. So I can't remember what I used to charge. I think I was charging
$1,000.
Yes, $1,000 for 45 minutes. So if you wanted to book my time, 45 minutes to ask me any questions that you want, usually about your portfolio or something, I would charge $1,000, and I was completely booked on that. As far as any availability that I had, I was booked like 2 weeks out. That's another way to do it. What else, Josh? Obviously, the Rebel Capitalist Pro, once I started that, that's off platform, a membership site. It's a monthly service, $97 a month. And now the school platform, my goodness gracious, it's even easier to do like a monthly membership community. And, or just recognition for your brand. I mean, Mr. Beast set up, what was it, Feastables, I think. And that's the way he's getting exposure for his candy bar or his chocolate brand. And that goes to show business owners how they can really, really turbocharge that. Another great example is Logan Paul and KSI, how they came out with the drink. What was it called, Josh?
Prime.
That's right.
So KSI just sold his shares for over $1 billion as well.
I didn't know that.
So he's a billionaire now.
Wow.
And so I would say there's a few ways to monetize a channel. If you're starting out and wanted content creation to be your full-time job, then it's different than if you have a business looking to grow your business using YouTube. So starting with the first example, if you're someone that just wants to make their full-time job making videos, you can get paid from YouTube advertising. It's not
you can build a business around it, by the way.
Yeah. And that's what you did is you started probably just making therapy style videos because you were thinking about macroeconomics and there was no one to talk about it with. So then you started posting it online, and then you realized other problems that your audience had, like the memberships site, like the live events and other things that could monetize to fund it to where you could continue to grow and then make some money doing it as well. So your audience will tell you what they need based upon the types of videos that you make, and you can curate a product for those people. You can also get sponsors. I have a very good friend right now who he's in the Bitcoin space, and he's making $30,000 per month as a young kid between YouTube ad revenue, super chat, and sponsors. He doesn't monetize it any other way. All he does is make videos, and
how many subs does he have?
He has under 20,000 subs. I think he actually just hit 20,000 subs, but he gets around 500,000 to 750,000 views per month. And all he does is do content for a full-time job. And then he picked up consulting gigs to help other people grow their channels because he got pretty good at it.
Yeah, but let's go back in time. How many views was he getting before he met me?
He wasn't. He was getting no views.
Okay. And that was not that long ago.
Was that 2 years ago? 2 years ago, he was making about $4,000 per month, working 12 hours per day.
Well, that's because he was editing content for other people's videos,
as well as writing scripts for them and doing everything for around the back end.
So then he started his own channel, and then I helped him, and then I taught him these strategies that we discuss on this channel, and utilizing those strategies, he was able to grow his channel very, very quickly, and to the point, and his business, by the way, to the point where it is today. He was a nobody. He had no social media presence whatsoever. And now he's completely blown up, and he's doing extremely well, especially for his age, because this is not luck. This is, to various degrees, it's an art form, but it's also a science. And if you understand the science, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah. So that's for one group of people who want to make content their full-time job and they want to create a business around it. Let's take the other example of someone who already or already has a business and wants to lower their cost to acquire customers.
Okay, so
How
let
about
me
this?
let me go over that, Josh. Let me switch to these other YouTube channels that because I want to give people a visual example of what we're referring to that I think everyone can relate to, and then we'll circle back to the analytics and go over the interviews channel, which I just started, I don't know, 2 months ago or something like that. So I've got this queued up. I just typed this in the other day because I was, as Josh knows, but the viewers might not. I'm just thinking about buying a lot where I'd build a house that might have a steep driveway. So I typed in steep driveway solutions, and this is what comes up. So first of all, this is an example of a guy who's basically documenting his journey or his life. He's Colorado mountain living. So this would probably be an example of someone that was creating content around what they were doing, and they're kind of building a business around that. Look at this. He's got 24,000 subscribers. This video alone has 623,000 views, and it's very evergreen. So I'm sure every single month he's getting literally thousands of views from this video he did 4 years ago. But we can go to another company like this, Apple Drains. So you know this is a brand. This is a business. And they have 183,000 subscribers. And this video got 121,000 views. Just this one video. And this was a year ago. So make a GeoCell grid that's stronger and half the cost. Save. Now, I have no idea what a GeoCell grid is, but I'm sure they explain it in this video. And I could almost assure you that there's an opportunity to use their service because they most likely install them, sell them, or both. So you just got two examples right here of an ordinary business. This is not, this is just a landscaping company, basically, right here. And then another guy that probably started off, I'm sure, as a nobody, just lives up in the middle of nowhere in Colorado. And he's turning this into most likely a pretty profitable side hustle. And we can keep going down and you'll see more and more examples of this right here. World's only gravel stabilizing system trusted for steep slope. 86,000 views. Very good. And this is Core Landscape Products. So, and they only have 865 subscribers, for heaven's sakes. So just think about how many leads they got from this one video. And I'm sure they probably install these gravel stabilizing system.
These are people that are probably just doing some on a very small scale. One person that I work with that I definitely can't mention this example in the video or I tell you who it is, but for his business, we are bringing in quite literally mid 9 figures per year into his business in some way, shape, or form. I'm not going to go into the complete details or everyone will know who it is. But at the same time, we just closed another sponsor to where he's going to be making $65,000 per month to make videos to grow his business by 9 figures per year. And so what is the ROI on that?
Yeah, but let me just explain that a little further. So what this person is doing is they're creating content to generate leads for their business. And because this content is getting so many views, they're not only getting paid from YouTube, but then they're also taking on sponsors that are willing to pay them $65,000 a month. So you're getting leads. You're getting paid from YouTube. You're getting paid from sponsors. You're monetizing those leads. Hopefully you're increasing the top line and the bottom line. I mean, it's just like a win-win-win.
Yeah. It's so unbelievably powerful when you commit to doing something for a few years and really just become the best at your craft. And the biggest edge that every business owner has is you've been working on your business and you are an expert that no one else on YouTube can replicate. So if you've had a business for 10, 20 years, you would think, oh, I don't know anything about YouTube. The thing is, people on YouTube don't know anything about business. So they start off
business. They don't know anything about your business. Like I don't know anything about steep slope driveways, but those guys do. And with those guys probably thought the exact same thing. Those guys meaning those construction companies. Like, oh, why should I post on YouTube? Nobody's going to watch my videos. Who care? All I do is install gravel on a driveway or something like that. No. You can't think that way, because I can assure you, if you make videos on subject matter that you know, people in their good videos, there's going to be an audience for it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the niche. There's the weirdest niches on earth that you can get millions of views per month. Think about, I mean, George or Jeff Snyder. Jeff talks about the plumbing of the Eurodollar system that no one even knows what the Eurodollar system is, but he's doing over 2 million views per month. So if you can find 2 million people to care about the Eurodollar system per month, you could find anything.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now let's circle back to YouTube, Josh, to the analytics, and we're going to go over to the interviews channel, which I haven't put much time and energy into. I will, because I mean, you can see the views on here are really relative to the subscribers. I've got, let's call it 12,000 subscribers here, and I don't post. I maybe post once a week, but usually probably once every week and a half or so. But actually, let me start by going to the videos. You can see the last one that we just posted, 71,000 views, 12,000, 56,000, 14,000, 22,000, 7,000, 49,000, 48,000, 75,000. And so this is what's possible with a brand new channel once you kind of had that brand awareness with the algorithm. So the benefits are like exponential based on how much work, time, and energy you're putting into this. But let's go to the analytics, Josh. So this month were 181,000 views, $1,800 basically. So I just started posting to this channel. Looks like February. Man, it seems like a couple months. Guess not. Okay, since February, so it's 5-6 months or so. And we've got how many? 869,000 views and 5,500. Okay. Well, what's great news about this is the CPM on this channel is going to be higher than my other two channels. So that's really good news. So that tells you that advertisers are not only willing to pay a higher amount for content that is edited, because it's obviously edited long form, but also for interviews, they're willing to pay more than for my whiteboard videos.
Yeah, and so your objectives for a channel can literally get you to anywhere you want. I have a channel where my objectives are crystal clear. I'm looking to find really high quality talent of young, ambitious people that want to work hard where I can hire. And so since then, I've now hired 6 full-time people from my channel. And just yesterday, I hired another person that he's done all of the social media for some of the brands that are getting 50 to 100 million views per month. So I have a decent skill set where I can help businesses do 2 to 3 million views per month, but it is a whole new ball game if you're going to go from 2 to 3 million to 10 million. The amount of the amount of thought that goes into it beforehand, the strategy is different. It's like taking a business from $1 million per year to $5 million per year. There's a bunch of other layers, but I can attract that quality of talent because I started a channel where I talk about my business thoughts every single day, the problems that I'm going through, scaling, just doing things that young, ambitious men would care about because it's what I think about on a day-to-day basis. And that has allowed me to find some of the most incredible talent in the world to work for me that is blowing up my business more than getting more clients with.
Yeah. So the bottom line here is, if you're willing to put forth the effort, if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to follow these strategies that we talk about on this channel, you're going to be successful.
Yeah. And think about the external benefits that you've gotten as well, George, being able to go out with a bunch of hedge fund guys that wouldn't even care about you if they didn't watch your channel, or like being able to meet Ron Paul or some of the people that you looked up to. I mean, I've met pretty much every person that I've looked up to just because I looked at their channels, and now we're pretty much friends with all of them.
Yeah. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. As always, make sure you're standing up for freedom, liberty, free market capitalism, and we will see you on the next Rebel Capitalist Business Accelerator video.